As are we? There we go. Now we live. Oh man, Megs, how's it going? I thought I was going to bring you in. I thought I was going to bring you in a little bit later. What's wrong, my love? Sorry, I've got another little one here. What's wrong, babe? Okay. Yeah, sorry guys. I'm just trying to sort out kids.
This is the juggler's reel, mom and dad. And Jax, you are mom and dad, aren't you?
Yeah, like I'm double timing here, Megs. You've got to do it. You got to do it. I'm super excited to have you here, Megs. I think, like I said on your live feed, I've been absolutely champing at the bit to get something like this across to my moms. As you know, I'm doing my postpartum side, and I think having you here is just it's an incredible addition. And focus, Lily. You can't watch your movie here, my baby. Sorry, guys.
Luckily, speaking to moms and dads, they all know exactly what this juggle is like.
It's like madness, Megs. It's like madness. Oh man, you got to juggle. But how old are your kids, Megs?
No, mine are grown up now, Jax. So I've got two of them in their 20s, so out of home already. And then one who's in her teens, and so she's still at home with us. She's in high school. So I've got 3 kiddies, just like you. And Jax, you've got twins, hey? So and so at some point in your life, you had 3 children under the age of 2. So if anybody is feeling sorry for themselves right now, Jax, your hero.
It's crazy. But you know, I tell you, whether it's 1 child, 2 children, 3 children, I promise you, it's absolutely crazy. What's happening, Kath? Hello, everyone's here. This is really great. But yeah, I wanted to just introduce you. I didn't know you were going to come in at once. I was going to do a nice introduction. But Megs, from your side, you're an occupational therapist. I'm correct, eh?
That's correct. Yeah, I trained many years ago in Cape Town.
Yeah. How long have you been doing this for?
Gosh, well, I feel like I've done it forever, because I actually, before I even became an OT, I knew I only ever wanted to work with babies. It was just my passion and what I knew was my calling. And so I started working on that many years ago, and graduated about 20 years ago. And have worked ever since in private practice, written books, and so on. Had the businesses. So I've had everything really focused on trying to create solutions for moms. That's been what it's been all about for me. Oh, I can't hear you, Jax. I've lost your sound. Can you hear me?
Am I back? There we go.
We're back.
Sorry, technology.
I wasn't sure if it was mine or yours.
Okay, Lordy, welcome to my life, guys. Just when I thought I was going to have some silence tonight, yes, you can have
Hello, Yana. Hello, Kate.
15-20 minutes, baby.
Hello, Zoleka.
No, I don't want thank you. I'm fine. But I'm busy. Just can you give me 15-20 minutes? Sorry, Megs. So, Megs, you are I'm the best mom ever. Yes, I'm winning.
Did something right.
Oh man, so you oh my goodness, there's questions coming from left, right, and center. Sorry, Megs. But Megs, you're the author of the Baby Sense book series, and
so that was kind
amazing.
Yeah, well, that was my adventure when my babies were really little. After my second one was born, I decided I was going to write a book, and that was back in 2001. So kind of the book has been around for 20 years. So it's been there for a while. And and then I went on and wrote the other books. So 8 of them, including Weaning Sense. So Baby Sense and Weaning Sense are the 2 best known books, I think, in the series.
Oh man, that's absolutely brilliant. And I think what's really great is that you've come on here, and I think between the 2 of us, we're trying to make things a whole lot easier for moms, and that juggle. And like you said, the juggle is real. Like, I mean, you've seen with me tonight, dead set 8 o'clock. It's like 3 people running in here, running out, coming in. Mom, can I do this? Can I do that? To try to find that time is just incredibly difficult. And you've also put together an app. Parent Sense app, which I took a look at, and it's incredible, Megs. I loved it the second I hopped onto that website.
Thanks, Jax. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always been about solutions for mums, and the Parent Sense app was all about that. It's got a section on how and what to feed your little one, when to wean them. It's got a section on how to get your baby to sleep through the night. It's got the health section, and then the daily stimulation activities to ensure that babies meet their milestones. So kind of that all-in-one app for early parenting. It's my passion project.
That's awesome. And I think what's beautiful is that it's like you providing this guidance. And, for me personally, it was something that was incredibly difficult. I never had something like this. So in my mind, and this is what we're going to be talking about, this is giving moms the opportunity to essentially free up that time and to have that time for themselves, carve out that time, and not just from a, thumbsuck the situation. But like I said, it's the me time, Megs, which is a major topic for a lot of moms. And we constantly focus on, especially the new bubs, constantly, which is incredibly difficult, right?
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And it's actually very essential. I mean, it's quite interesting the way that we progress through parenting. So the first thing that happens immediately after your baby's born, and this happens for almost every mother, is you move into a stage where you're utterly obsessed with your baby. You do think your baby is the most beautiful in the world. And I've got a podcast series where I was chatting to one of the girls who was on a podcast with me, and she said she was amazed that people didn't walk up and go, "Oh my gosh, it's the most beautiful baby," because she was convinced that no baby had ever been more perfect. And that's something called primary maternal preoccupation, where everything in our life revolves around this little human being. And so carving out me time, it becomes completely something we don't do, because we end up being obsessed with this baby. Everything revolves around them. And so we can't find time for ourselves. But, one of the things that really struck me, and this strikes me every time I fly on an airplane, you get on that plane and you're sitting and you're listening to the air hostess doing the whole demo.
Yes.
And one of the things they always say to you is, in the event of a loss of cabin pressure, masks will fall from above. You must help yourself before you help people in need or your children next to you. Now, as a mother who's got primary maternal preoccupation or is completely in love with your children, you're never going to do that. You immediately think, I've got to get the mask onto them. But the reality is, and whenever I hear that message, I think about real life, and I think actually it's so true, because if we're not taking care of ourselves, if we're not actually getting that oxygen mask on ourselves, we won't be around, and we won't be able to take care of the people who actually need us. And I think that's, kind of the message today, that I think everybody needs to take away, is that actually, we're sitting on an airplane, it's going down, we've got to take care of ourselves, and then we'll be able to take care of others. And, if we're able to do that, we'll be able to carve out time for exercise, as an example, because that type of me time is not a nice to have. That's an absolute essential. And so it's carving out that me time that is important. It's for our survival.
No, you have to do it.
You
have to.
Well, how do you do it? I mean, you've got a set of twins, so how does that work?
Megs, I'll be honest with you, it's taken a lot. It's taken a lot of trial and error. I won't even lie to you. And I've always, I coach mommies, and that's me. I coach mommies predominantly, and look, it's been trial and error for me for many years, 6-7 years, and it's been a heavy road, and I've had to learn to be selfish. So I'll give you a little bit of a background from my side. I lost my husband last year, so I immediately had 3 kids of my own. And I said to myself, you know what, either I can just, I can lose myself, or I need to continue living, because I've got 3 kids and I need to pull myself towards myself. And for me, that was a major thing. It was exercise. It was nourishing my body, getting enough sleep. I had to be selfish. I had to make time for myself, because if I didn't make that time, it would be I shall be honest with you, I don't even know where I would be at this point in time with 3 kids on my own. So I'll be honest with you, to try to find that time for exercise, I had to be very, very selfish from that context. But and from your app and from what you're presenting has been incredible. You're giving moms an opportunity just to carve out that time. And from your side, Meg, how would you think someone needs to actually find that time to exercise?
No, I mean, it is difficult. I'm so fascinated. You kept using the word selfish, and I think that's such a mother word, though, that we think that we're being selfish when we're taking time for ourselves, and actually, it's not really actually being selfish. I mean, and I think I think we almost need to reframe it. I think what happens with moms is twofold. There's the psychology of it, which you've just pointed out, actually, unwittingly, that we think that it's being selfish because we're taking care of ourselves and not someone else. But actually, remember, go back to the airplane going down. It's survival. It's not selfishness. We need to do it,
They won't survive without us.
Yeah, exactly. So it's for the greater good. It's not actually for just for yourself. It's not selfish. So that's the first thing. But I think on the second level, so there's the psychological piece, but then on the practical piece, I think for many of us, and especially new moms, I mean, I don't know how many of you are new moms, and I'd love to know from those of you who are watching live, pop it up in the comments, how many of you are new moms? How old are your babies? Because the reality is, and I'm sure you know this very well, because I can only imagine it's worse with twins. But with your new baby, you don't even know when you're going to fit in time to go to the toilet. Like, you don't even know how you're going to get a shower in. I can remember getting to 4:00 in the afternoon and knowing that my husband was going to get home from work and thinking, shucks, I'm still in my pajamas. I haven't had a shower. And how do we actually kind of sequence this? And how do we actually make space for anything in our lives? And, I think one of the things that is important is that we can start to take our little ones into a flexible routine. And, when you have a routine that gives you some sort of sense of what's coming up, you'll get to know, okay, hold on, this time of day, I am going to get 45 minutes because that's how long a sleep cycle is, So one of the things that we do in the Parent Sense app, which you've already mentioned, is that we do help mums out with a little bit of a flexible routine. So the routine is specific to the baby's age. We know how long babies should be sleeping for in a stretch. So maybe it's 45 minutes.
I would never have known that. Would never have known that, Meg.
There you go. And so then and I mean the mums are coming up now saying a 5-month-old, a 2-month-old. So at that age, those babies are having 45 minutes to an hour and a half sleeps. And so when you start to know it through a routine, you're then able to start to know when you can actually slot in the time for yourself, which is then your exercise time. So I think for new mummies, I think knowing those length of times of their sleep and knowing when they're going to sleep will really, really help you to be able to actually slot in and go, right, every day I'm going to fit in, my baby sleeps first nap of the morning is, let's say, from 7:30 to 8:15. I'm going to get in a half an hour exercise session, whether it's a walk, or whether it's a session with you, Jax, I can actually fit it in. And then I won't shower immediately afterwards because I know I can't get that done. But I know when the next sleep is coming up because the app has shown me about when my baby's going to sleep, and that'll be when I'll get in a shower. And so we can start to actually space our day and plan our day a little bit around those baby sleeps.
100%. And you know what? If I had an app like that, I would have been, I would be top notch right now.
Well, I must say it has been such an exciting journey because one of the things that we're adding into the app now that's about to come out is what's called our responsive routine, which is when the mom actually inputs her data. So if she inputs what time her baby's slept or inputs what time her baby is fed, the whole routine adjusts for the rest of the day. So it becomes super, super personalized. It's the first time it's been done in the world. It's an algorithm that actually takes your data and then allows you to actually build a live kind of responsive routine through the day. So we're just super excited about it. And thank you for sharing in my excitement.
No, I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to give a lot of moms a little bit of free time. It's going to take motherhood to the next level. That's what I genuinely think. But
Jax, I've got some questions for you. So if we've got mummies who are going to start to work with our responsive routine or going to start to use the app, so they've got some sort of routine, but it turns out that they can't make a scheduled exercise class every day. So they think they're going to fit it in. They think 9:15, I'm going to get it in. I'm going to get my exercise. And it just doesn't happen. And this is going for all those moms out there. I saw a mum on now who's got a 10-day-old. She's definitely at this point where she absolutely can't fit in exercise. Baby shouldn't be exercising. But what are good ways for us to get our heart rate up and to just get a little bit of exercise in if we don't have these massive, beautiful, big windows of 45 minutes? What do we do as moms who are juggling too many balls?
Megs, I'll be honest with you. The moment you said get your heart rate up, my ears are pricked. I'm like, it does not mean anything to do with getting your heart rate up. Being a mom, whether you are with a 3-month-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 16-year-old, it's about movement. Right? It doesn't mean that you need to constantly get your heart rate up. And I'm not going to get too much into that, but for you to essentially move your body, it doesn't require you to put pressure on yourself to get exercise, which a lot of people label HIIT or LIT or strength-based, weight-based training. Nonsense. It's not going to work constantly for a lot of moms. You might find the 30-minute or 40-minute session great, but on most cases, you're probably going to find that you're probably going to have to land up, using a step count through the course of the week, or with what we're offering now on our Jeff Fitness side with our coaching. A lot of my moms with my postpartum power program that I'm working on now with, I think it's about 5 mommies that I'm working with, along with a good amount of other moms that I'm working with on a one-on-one basis. I've always said to them, if you cannot find time, look for 15 minutes. It does not have to be 30 minutes. That is far too overwhelming. 30 minutes out of your day can be really, really hectic and, almost overwhelming. And I've always said to a lot of, in fact, not a lot, all my moms, I've said, set realistic expectations. You cannot put yourself in a position where you have to say, okay, I will get 5 out of 7. I will get 6 sessions. I will get 30-minute sessions out of those 6 sessions. That's not going to happen. Life fluctuates. It constantly fluctuates. And that is the reality. So for you to essentially put yourself in a position where you can say, hey, I can get 15 minutes in the morning just to move my body. Yes, get the heart rate up, but it doesn't always mean to have to get that heart rate up. Work on that step count, like I mentioned. If you're getting 8,000 steps a day or 6,000 steps a day, make a point of getting 8,000, like 2,000 more than what you would. Then in the evening, I'm sure you have 15 minutes, Bubs goes down, right? Bubs has to go down at some point. And a lot of the pressure also with motherhood, sleep deprivation. That is probably the worst thing, especially from a mental perspective. Yoga, get a sleep yoga. Kathleen has, and that's helped a lot of my moms at this point in time. Kathleen has been incredible with that sleep yoga.
16 sleep yoga?
It helps you to get into REM sleep sooner than what you can anticipate. So you get rested far faster than
do you do it just before bedtime?
Yes, just before you go to bed.
Oh my gosh, is that on the Jeff? Is that on the app, on the program?
Yes,
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, go take a look. I promise you, it works like a bomb, an absolute bomb. So moms that are really, really like suffering with sleep deprivation, you mean you're waking up every 2-3 hours, right? So go and get a sleep yoga so that you can get a good solid sleep for about 3 hours before Bubs essentially wakes up, and then you can take it from there.
Yeah. So I'm also, something that you said there was really fascinating, and I'd love to tie it into something around routines. You said you can get your heart rate up by just getting in your steps, and even if your heart rate isn't up, just getting your steps. And there's a lot coming out in the literature about that right now. And I think there's a time of a day in most moms' lives, particularly if you've got a baby under 6 weeks of age, where your baby is can become super niggly, really irritable, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. And one of the things that I always used to do was actually pop my babies in a carrier and take them for a walk, or in a pram when I had to.
There we go.
And it's one of the best things you can do, because not only are you ticking Jax's box, which is, I'm getting in my step count, but you're ticking my box, which is there's a rhythm in your day. There you go. You're ticking my box, which is that there's a rhythm and a routine to your day that actually is centered around calming your baby and soothing your baby, but actually is, giving back to yourself. So I think, you're right. There's lots of ways where we can pop our babies' rhythms in with our so-called exercise, as you say, if we're getting our steps in.
And it's stepping out of those 4 walls, Megs. I'll be honest with you, when I was a mom, my goodness gracious me, those 4 walls can crawl in so quickly. Cabin fever. And it can cause a lot of major from a mental stress, let's put it that way. Yeah. So for you just to step out of the house, put some headphones in, put Bubs inside the pram, go walk. It's the best thing that you do. And you feel so much better afterwards. You really, really do.
And that kind of brings us around to particularly in those first 6 weeks when our emotions are really fluctuating. And postnatal depression can actually last all the way through till 18 months old. So it doesn't just necessarily go away in the very early days. And you're always reading about these mental health benefits, that come from exercise. But maybe you can just talk us through a little bit about, kind of what happens if you actually are getting out there and walking, and if you are exercising, and how good that is on a mental health level.
Well, endorphins, that's what you need, right? And like I said, I was talking about cabin fever. Moms feel like they are too nervous to get out. Don't. Put Bubs inside of the carrier and walk. I mean, like you said, there's the postnatal depression, there's the baby blues, and that's something that you need to be very, very wary about. So baby blues, a lot of people think they're going through baby blues, but sometimes it can lead on further. It can actually be something like postnatal depression. And that's where you need to please make sure that you go and seek some sort of medical advice. But from the perspective from a mental state, moms experience major stress, anxiety, overwhelming feelings, mood swings, all sorts, and just a little bit of exercise, small amounts. And that's why I also say, I don't want to put pressure on my moms to get those 30 minutes in. You need to look at small little bouts, because that's all we essentially have, especially early days of postpartum. So 5-10 minutes, if it means you moving away and just stepping away from the chair, me stepping away and actually just doing a couple squats or doing a couple star jumps, or even just going in for a 5-minute meditation, something that will clear your mind, because exercise for me is the pinnacle of being able to think clearer and be able to focus better and to be a better person for yourself as a mother. You need to be 100% on point for yourself. So that you can be better for everybody else around you. But the main factor is you. So from a mental side, you must get exercise in. And I know a lot of moms say, hey, I've got no time. Find time. There is time. And like now you've said none, you're presenting the opportunity with this app. And I think it's absolutely amazing. And I think it's gonna take, the postpartum side to a absolute next level. It really, really is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I mean, a lot of mums will ask, I mean, you talk about the postpartum period and you're talking here about some really lovely, gentle exercises and walking. And I mean, a lot of the mums are saying that, nothing feels like fresh air. It's just so awesome to get out. People are talking about that. But there is also pressure from mums that we feel to get actually back into an exercise program.
Sorry, Megs, you can take it to the kitchen, my baby.
Water.
Yeah, you can. That's fine. Okay.
No, I can't pour it.
I will come and pour just now. Okay. Sorry, Megs.
So quickly, because we know that your kiddies need you. But just quickly, at what age how far after our babies are born do you recommend people joining your one-on-one postpartum course?
I will be very honest with you. I prefer medical clearance, number one. That's my first thing. So medical clearance firstly. I've got a lady, Megan, she's working with me. She is 7 weeks postpartum. So we haven't been working on the exercise side. She's been doing walking, but we've been focusing on the nutrition side. Nutrition is an absolute, it's just as important as getting that exercise in. And I've just actually started on the actual postpartum based program for the training side this Monday. And she is feeling absolutely phenomenal. She is super, super tough that she's been able to actually move her body. And it's very frustrating for an, yes, my baby.
Can you fix this
Can I fix? I know, I'll fix it for you now. Okay. And it's been hell of a frustrating for her that she hasn't been able to essentially train. And she's felt phenomenal, and that is all it is. It's just endorphins. And look, the walking gets to a point where you're like, okay, it's enough walking now. I want to actually do something. And you can eventually, but you need to wait for that clearance. There's a lot of conditions that come through. So gynae clearance, and then we can rock and roll with the postpartum power side. Definitely.
That's brilliant. So it sounds to me, Jax, that we have actually got a little bit of a toolkit here for parents. And so mums and dads, and mums in particular, the thing that you're going to do is you're going to download the Parent Sense app, which is on the App Store. It's on the iOS and on the Android store. And the Parent Sense app is going to give you some semblance of normality, because you're going to get a sense of what you should be doing every day. And it's going to give you a nice rhythm. Next step you're going to do is you're going to get up your walking, because as Jax has said, you're going to get out there, you're going to get your steps. And then the third thing you're going to do is you're going to join Jax, because I just think, Jax, your program just sounds amazing. And if I could have had that one-on-one care and that contact with somebody who's as empathetic and as just connected as you are, and with mum's emotions, I think it would have been really awesome. So I think that joining your one-on-one postpartum program, is that an always on? Is that something people can join at any time, or is that a challenge and they have to wait to join it?
We are going to reopen it in December, but I will make sure that I put some feed out, letting everybody know exactly when it's going to be launching. But I want to start the actual physical program January, February. So I know obviously school's opening, buying school clothes, stationery, all sorts. It just gets a little bit crazy. So I'll open it around about that time, but I will definitely keep everybody posted on that side.
That's amazing. Sounds like an incredible program. So moms, if you're feeling like you're needing that little bit of kind of return to normal, a little bit of me time, which is actually, if you go back to right at the beginning of this talk, if you hadn't heard it, it is survival. You have to do it for yourself and your little ones. You do want to be able to join one of those programs. So Jax, thank you for sharing that with us.
Man, thank you so much, Megs. It's been incredible to have you here. And I think if Az can please pop in the website link for the Parent Sense side for everybody to go and have a look.
We've actually got a special on that we're actually running specifically with this, and people can visit the website. Our website is parentsense.app, so www.parentsense.app. They go across to our subscriptions page, and then they go across to the lifetime subscription, and you use the code, all capitals, Jeff50 off. So Jeff50 off, and guess how much you're going to get off? 50%. So instead of paying 1,000 rand for lifetime, which means you can have unlimited babies on this app, you're only going to pay 500 rand, and it is an incredible app. So it includes multi-baby functionality, tracking sleep, daily suggested routines, 365 activities for your little ones. So do go onto our website, parentsense.app, and go and download the app and pop in that Jeff50 off, and you'll get that discount.
There we go. Everybody get moving, please. Let's go.
Get moving.
Get moving, literally get moving. But Megs, you've been absolutely amazing. I think what you've got to present from your side is just phenomenal. Like I said, I've been champing on the bit for ages to get something like this going, and to hear something like this, something like this to come about. And I think it's going to be incredible. Like I said, it's going to take moms being moms to the next level, giving them the opportunity to essentially, not look at, oh gosh, I'm a mom. I'm a mom and I can do what I want to do because I've got all my stuff in sync now. And you're really given them that opportunity. But for those of you that have registered for the event, just please take note. Everyone that has registered for this event, you all get special discount codes that will be sent through to you tomorrow via email. There is also a prize, so please make sure that you're commenting. Give us some feedback based on what you think of the app. So go and have a look at the app, give us some feedback. Give us your experiences based on your first 3 months of motherhood. Give us some funny stories, maybe some scary stories, doesn't matter. I would love to hear about it. And the individuals with the best comments are up for a Adidas prize, so 2,000 rand vouchers for those individuals. And the winner will be announced tomorrow on our social media page, on our stories. And so everybody get commenting. Would love to hear everybody's journey on motherhood. I think it's been absolutely incredible. But Megs,
great. Thanks, Jax. Let's do it again sometime.
Yes, we must actually do a bit of a podcast, like a little bit of a next step. I think that would be awesome.
I'd really love that. And connect again when your postpartum one-on-ones kicks in. Let's do something on my channels as well, again, because I want my mums to know about it. It's so important. And I just know that I don't exercise or eat as well as I do ever in my life as when I'm on a program. And, just being in a program.
You're coming to me.
So I come to you anyway.
Oh man. But Megs, thank you so much. You've been an absolute superstar, and we'll definitely reconnect in December time when we want to get going.
That's awesome. Brilliant. Super. Okay. Thanks, Jax.
Cheers. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Have a beautiful evening. Bye.
Cheers.